One take, one shot, Raw review where I do it all in one take, one shot. Plus, I'm giving away this belt. I am giving away the belt at 20,000 subscribers, so help me out. Subscribe to the channel so you can win. You also got to comment and hit that bell, ding, 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 notification. And did you notice I have a shop now? We have a shop. We got merch. We got merch and more merch coming soon. Let me put this down. All right, so let's get started here. I don't got much to say, honestly. Yeah, right, I'll figure out a way to say something. That's one thing I'm never at a loss for, words. But no, for real, there's not much to this episode. And I'm not saying that necessarily is a bad thing, even though I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, this was the worst episode of all time, Triple H, what are you doing? But I would say it's just more of a world-building episode. They built a lot of storylines, and they set the foundation for a lot of things to happen. But at the same time, Triple H has been training us for these huge moments, and if we don't get these huge moments, then everything sucks. And so we gotta get our dopamine levels just like skyrocketed. Otherwise, it was a waste of our time. That's what Triple H has been training us for. And if that's the case, our dopamine, and that's our pleasure chemical in our brain. It doesn't really take off in this episode. I'm not gonna lie here. It was just a very much their episode. Hey, look, we got LA Knight in your main event. Hey, look, we now got the main event to Clash in Paris. Hey, look, Asuka is crashing out on Io. Hey, look this. Hey, look that. Hey, look, Bayley is having a major depression episode. It's like, okay, cool. We'll see where this leads to. So I guess let's just start. Pull the Band-Aid off of this episode. Yep, I know I'm enticing everybody to watch the rest of this review. I don't know. It was just kind of there. CM Punk comes out and he apologizes for not holding on to the title. And then LA Knight comes out and says, hey, dude, and I gotta say, I'm gonna side with LA Knight on this. I think LA Knight came out very respectful, offered to shake Punk's hand, and instantly, and I'm a CM Punk fan, instantly Punk kind of like gave him a side-eye on that, and then he starts like saying, hey man, you deserve a title shot, you were screwed, blah 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 blah. He really buttered up Punk, which he doesn't really do. I remember when he teamed up with John Cena, he did not butter up Cena as much as he buttered up Punk, but then he said, but listen, last week you interrupted my match. You cost me my title. You should have waited till after the bell. And I thought that was perfectly reasonable, but then CM Punk kind of became like a jerk and was like, you should be thanking me, mister. You should be like, thank you, Mr. Punk, for saving my life, because he said that Seth Rollins was about to curb stomp him into the cement. And I mean, yeah, he was, but what if LA Knight had moved? So, like, we don't know. And I'm pretty confident that CM Punk would not like LA Knight causing a DQ on his title matches. So, like, if CM Punk had just been like, you know what, man, you're right. I shouldn't have. I got mad. I'm sorry. I think it would have, like, but Punk didn't do that, and he started getting kind of in LA Knight's face, and LA Knight's like, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to forget that didn't happen, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to be the first loser when I get my rematch on Seth Rollins. And then Paul Heyman comes out with Bronson Reed, who's wearing both shoes now. The shoe LaFala might be the funniest pun of all time, and Bron Breakker. And then Paul Heyman, he starts saying, like, you don't do favors for Punk, and he starts crashing out. And the funny thing is, when he's crashing out, he actually is kind of praising Roman Reigns. He's like, it cost you my tribal chief and all this stuff. So it does show that in some way, shape, or form, Paul Heyman was actually not lying when he said he was forced to side with Seth, in his own mind that is, because Roman had put him in a bad situation, because Punk had put him in a bad situation. So ultimately, Paul Heyman never wanted to leave Roman based on how he was crashing out here. But that's all aside. That's all like minute details here. And they crash out. They basically coax when it's all said and done, there's a challenge, right? There's a challenge for LA Knight and LA Knight and CM Punk to fight Bron Bronze. And at first, LA Knight's like, he doesn't speak for me, but then he's like, but that said, I will accept the challenge. And then they're leaving. They're like, haha, we got them into a tag match for the main event. The funniest thing happened, though. I loved this. Bron Breakker then, like, as they're going in the back, Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman, Bron Breakker starts walking to the ring. He's taking off his shirt. Like, nobody told him to do this, right? He's just doing it on his own accord. And they're like, hey, no, stop. They come back. Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed are like, no, come back. And he's like, what are they going to do? He's yelling this, right? So you can only hear him from the camera mic. He's like, he's 47. What's he going to do? Combined, they're 100. It reminded me, it sounded so much like his uncle Scott Steiner. I'm so glad there's an unhinged Steiner in the wrestling world. There should always be an unhinged Steiner. Like, God, Scott Steiner was such a maniac. It was so funny. And I'm so glad that Bron Breakker has that maniac in him. You talk about the dog. No, I talk about the Steiner that's in him. So then I got my Cliff Notes over here. They pull him back. And then next up we have Dominic Mysterio walks into the Judgment Day clubhouse with El Grande Americano. And first we have Finn saying, hey, Naomi's out. Naomi's out. Why don't you guys go see what you can do about that? He's just stirring trouble. And he's like, hey, Dom, why did you bring in Grande Americano? And he's like, oh, I'm fighting for the AAA title this weekend. So there's a little, like, Finn Balor just causing trouble, but actually kind of also being the leader. And he's like, yeah, no problem, go for it. And then we have a match, Grande Americano and Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Now, I'm going to say, rumor has it that in the early TNA days, it was a dream match for Grande Americano versus AJ Styles, and we did get that here tonight. The match did go too long. Probably about 5 to 6 minutes too long. It was a great match, but just like too long. And when it was all said and done, Dominic seemingly had the metal plate. He put on a mask and headbutted AJ Styles. And then Grande Americano got the pinfall victory right there. So, kudos to them. I guess there's a AAA Triple Mania match, pay-per-view, PLE, that's going to be broadcast on YouTube. That's happening, and this match was kind of there to promote it. Probably should have brought in Vikingo to do it, but I understand AJ and Dom are feuding in the United States, or even though they were in Canada. No Karrion Kross chant either, which was very, very disappointing. WWE might have lucked out with their scheduling, because I think, though, next week they're in Philly. If there's not a
you need to unlock your iPhone.
Shut up, phone. It's like, Siri, why now, Siri? I can't cut that out. They're in Philly next week. If Philly doesn't show up for Cross, then the whole Cross angle is done. And God forbid it's a work, but then the crowds don't show up for Cross, and then they're like, yeah, you know what? We'll just keep you fired. Oh God, that would suck. Released. I get it. He was released. So yeah, then we have Sami talking to Adam Pearce, and he's talking to Adam Pearce, and he's like, come on, man, I want a world title shot. We'll get over Rusev today. And then Sheamus comes out, and he's like, Sami says to Sheamus, hey, dude, do me a favor. Don't interfere. I gotta win. I want a world championship match. And Sheamus is like, once the bell rings, all things are off, though. So they go. The New Day show up, and I just would like to thank God for the New Day. The New Day show up. Xavier Woods, you know how last week he had the world's biggest hat? This week he had the world's smallest hat. I don't know if everybody saw it, though, because I didn't catch it at first. It took me I didn't see it until they came out again during a commercial break. Yes, I now live in Canada, so I no longer get the United States commercials. Oh, Canada, maple syrup, leaf on flag, bacon. Yes, I'm totally Canadian now. So I don't get commercials, and I think the New Day came out later, and that's when I saw the hat. And the hat was so funny. I loved it. Big hat, small hat. That was great. God, I love the New Day. So, anyways, unfortunately, though, they're wasted. The New Day did say that Pienta said that Penta was a menace, and because he threw the hat while they were mourning, repercussions needed to happen. And Adam Pearce was like, Xavier Woods can fight him next week, and Adam Pearce is just on a power trip when it comes to the New Day. I don't understand why he targets them unfairly. Sami Zayn versus Rusev. It's a match. The Canadians, the Quebecers, they love their Sami Zayn. As a Canadian, I guess I love him too now. And they fight. But then it's a DQ because Solo Sikoa and his MFT, the whole MFT, comes out and just beat up Sami Zayn. Could you imagine if I told you in 2015 it would take an entire faction to keep Sami Zayn down? Boy, that pandemic really flipped the world around on its axis, didn't it? So Sammy, he wins by DQ because an entire faction beats him up. Solo Sikoa is like, yeah, eat that. They go back. The bell rings. Sheamus comes out. Attack. So that'll probably be a Paris match. Next week is Paris. I think next week is Paris. Next week Paris? I don't know. No, next week is Philly. So yeah, who knows where it's gonna be? But Sheamus and Rusev far from done. But Rusev looked the most natural here since he's been back. He was very much smiling, egging the crowd on. He showed personality. So right direction for Sheamus as a character, but Sheamus. Rusev. It would seem like Rusev can't get victories to really build the momentum. And so, yeah, we go on from there. New Day, Adam Pearce, Bronson Reed. This is where Bronson Reed has his promo, and he has the Shulafala, and he pretty much just calls out Roman Reigns the entire time. So this is a feud that I'm surprised on. I understand why it's happening. He stole his shoes. That's very disrespectful. I'm just surprised that Roman is actually going to fight someone who's not, like, main event. Bronson Reed, he's high mid-card, and he's ready for the main event. He's definitely ready for the main event. However, he's not necessarily main event. So I'm very surprised and pleased. I'm pleased. I'm just shocked that if Roman's going to have, like, how many fights do we have left with Roman? I did a whole video, maybe only 5, and he's going to have a fight with Bronson Reed. That's really cool. I'm just shocked that he's not fighting Seth for it. But whatever the case may be, looks like they're headed that direction. And I'm glad Bronson Reed is getting some airtime. No way he's going to win this, and I honestly don't think he should win. You don't always have to beat someone in order to get that rub, and we'll actually talk about that with Becky Lynch later. So then we have... Adam Pearce does tell Io Sky, like, hey, Naomi's not here. That really sucks. I really wanted Naomi. I just love Naomi, right? And I guess she's, like, not medically cleared, so I don't know if she's injured or if she was sick. Hopefully it's sick and she gets over it. I can tell also that they had important plans for Io Sky here. So what they did was they didn't rewrite anything. They just took Roxanne or Naomi out and put Roxanne in, and it works, but it didn't work as well because they will have a match. Roxanne and Io Sky will have a match, but when it's all said and done, Raquel Rodriguez is getting involved, and the Kabuki Warriors, they come out, right? And they try to help. And even though Io said, don't help me, I got this. They try to help, they get in the way, they cause Io to hit them, and then Roxanne Perez rolls her up, right? And she wins. So it's a upset victory. And Io gets really upset about this. And I get it, she was mad, but it doesn't seem like her anger is warranted on just a normal loss. Right? If it was a championship loss, I could see that. Because you'd be like, oh, I almost had my belt back. But whatever. They did the best they could with what they had. And so Io's kind of yelling at the Kabuki Warriors, and Asuka just like, crashes out. I don't know what she says because I don't speak Japanese. Not Chinese, Carlito. Japanese. And people overreacted with that one, by the way. I'm Asian, I'm allowed to say that. But yeah, so Asuka crashes out. And this happens in like 2 or 3 segments. And then Io's like, wandering and sad face. And Rhea's like, hey, you can't, Rhea gets, it's just, you can tell where this is leading. Rhea is trying to team up with Io, and we're going to have a Kabuki Warriors feud right there. Basically, I don't know what else to say. Rhea just kept kind of like putting her nose there, and Io's like, I just can't. So that's all happening over there. Becky fights Maxine Dupri, and this was a good match. People who say that Becky is just holding people down, they don't know what they're talking about. You're more than welcome to your opinion, but it's wrong. No, but you're allowed to have wrong opinions. Don't worry. There are people who like Goldberg. That is definitely a wrong opinion. So, what's crazy in YouTube world? People are going to get so mad at me. I can't believe you said my opinion's wrong. Unsubscribe. And yeah, that's how it works. That's literally how it works. I get people all day long telling me because we didn't agree on one thing or I said one thing a certain kind of way that they're just done. I digress. So, Becky, Maxine, good match. I thought Becky was going to lose because it was a non-title and she was just so disrespectful to Maxine, but they had a very long match. I loved when Becky holds the ropes and said, get out of my ring. That was so funny. She should do that to everybody. Becky does win, but Maxine Dupri put up a really good fight. And this is an instance where he didn't have to win, but the underdog was able to fight one of the top guys or girls and show that they could hang. So that was huge. Then we have the Bayley promo, and Bayley is just like, listen, I've had mental health issues, and I could see the depression. Bayley did a really good. Either Bayley is really depressed, or she's been depressed in her life, and she tapped into that because her blaming herself. I had all those signs. I felt like I was watching me talking 6 years ago. Insane how good Bayley really played off this depressed person blaming herself for everything. Now it did go black and there was some laughter, so I don't know if we're about to get a Naomi type character going on where she's crazy now. I hope they don't. One of the unique things about Naomi's character is that she is uniquely crazy, and I don't need Bayley kind of taking that shine. So hopefully Bayley goes a different route, but a new character is being built here. Lyra then is like, did I do that? No, I didn't do that. That was the gist of her promo right there. And then we go to yeah, you're about to get beat down, Lyra, once this new Bayley emerges from her cocoon. Then we have the Bronze versus Punk and LA Knight, yeah. So it's a decent match. It's an old school, beat up LA Knight for the whole match. Wait for the hot tag. So it's good enough. It's good, right? And does it break down? I think it breaks down, right? Yeah, it does break down. I don't have any notes for this. At some point, I just forget taking notes. I'm just getting growth in the show. Seth Rollins. Oh yeah, I forgot. Seth Rollins earlier said he was gonna leave and get on a plane. No way did I believe him. Okay, no way did I believe him. He's the boy who cried wolf, and he interferes, and it's like, oh, guess he didn't leave. He interferes. He's beating up everybody. Then Jey Uso comes and he starts beating up everybody. The Vision, that's what they're being called, they run away. Adam Pearce comes out and says, you know what? You're fighting Jey Uso in the main event, and LA Knight in the main event, and CM Punk in the main event at Clash in Paris. It's a fatal 4-way, and Seth is super mad, and then LA Knight's he gets in Punk's face, and then Punk just instantly takes him down, starts beating him up, right? And they're rolling around. Jey Uso tries to take LA Knight off. He boom, he elbows him. Then Punk puts him, what's his name, LA Knight in a go to sleep. Bron Breakker spears, and now we have curb stomp, bunch of spears. Seth Rollins stands tall. But that's the moral of the story. You got a fatal 4-way. So, yeah, I yawned 10 times, 10 yawns, and most of the yawns were at the end. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it, really. I just wasn't feeling it. There was just a lot of, It coasted. World build. I didn't hate the episode. I'm gonna give it a 6. I'll give it a 6. I didn't hate it. I probably should have gave it a 5. 5, not good, not great. I'm just gonna give it a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you enjoyed it, I'm happy for you. Just because I give something a 6 doesn't mean I want. If you gave it an 8, I don't want to sit here and talk you into a 6. I'm very happy that you gave it an 8. I'm very happy if you give it a 10. Some people think that, I must bring down your enjoyment of the product because I didn't enjoy it that much. Let me tell you why it sucked more. Let me tell you why you shouldn't have enjoyed yourself. Nah, enjoy it. Love wrestling. That's what, it's cool. It's cool. You can love what you love, unless it's Goldberg. Then I'll sit here. Then let's talk. I'll tell you why Goldberg sucks. Boys, girls, have yourselves a great day. Hot takes are up. Go do a hot take. Go buy a shirt. Also, I'll put that in the description. See you, bye.